Guys, we're back with another episode of The Spill, and we're here with Kontrolled Khaos.
What's up, guys?
And they are a band straight out of the DMV. They perform around the DMV, and they're going to be performing at this year's Berkeley City Music Festival.
Woo!
So,
I'm joking.
You guys can just go down the line, starting here, and just say your name and what you do in the band.
Okay, I'm Raphael. I'm in Kontrolled Khaos. I'm the percussionist for Kontrolled Khaos. That was for you.
Jonathan Foots-Livis, the drummer / band leader / manager of the group.
Milton Music, Milton, the vocalist, MC, lyricist, the guy in the background who just helps make things flow.
All right. So how did the name come about?
Alright, so do you want the long story or the short story?
Whatever you want to get.
Okay. Kontrolled Khaos was actually an idea when I was in college, my sophomore year of college. I was in another group and I thought it was going to be a project. Had a dream one day and I woke up, I was like, oh man, this is crazy. But it looked so controlled. Like it looked unreal but real at the same time in the dream. So I said, what would I call it? So I was literally walking around nervous, like pondering on what would I call this. And then I finally came up with it, Kontrolled Khaos with K's. Now, the funny thing about that is I happen to be a Kappa, So everyone thought it came from that, but this was like way before Kappa. Like it was just a crazy idea, really dope. And then it just didn't happen for 2 years. So I kind of like put it to the wayside and kept doing my thing as a musician. And then I moved to LA, things went south, and the idea came back again. And then, yeah, here we are. I called the guys after the dream. I told them about the dream. They saw the dream, and my bros are here.
Okay, so there's 10 people in the band, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did it become like a 10-person thing? Like you just reached out to everyone you know that made music and...
Well, no, it's actually a beautiful thing. These guys are like not just musicians, they're like my family. Like they're all friends. Like me and Ralph have been friends for like 5 years. I've known him for 11? Like we're like legit childhood friends. So but that's like my story with everybody in the group. So it was kind of weird because it was like we always dreamed of doing something like this together, but we always were doing our own individual thing, and the opportunity didn't present itself. But at the time, it just happened, and like so now we're here.
Okay, so how long have y'all been in this music industry, like in a band? Like when
as a group or individually?
Individually.
Let's see. Let me think about it. I've probably been doing music, like I've been doing like music and like church stuff, you know what I'm saying, like damn near all my life. But as far as like really taking it seriously as a business and understanding that aspect, like I want to say like 6 years. 6 years I've been down. I've been out in Philly most of my time. Started when I was at school in another part of Pennsylvania, and I would just travel back and forth there, you know what I'm saying, like 4 or 5 times a week. It was like an hour and a half, but you make it happen and just made a CD, pushed that out there, got to do festivals, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, got my own ground game. Got mad love about Philly, you know what I'm saying, like definitely like a second home. And from there, I saw what they had in Philly as far as like an infrastructure, as far as the scene, and I said I gotta bring that back here. So now I'm here just trying to build that, and on the same note, build with the family. So
Me, individually, I started playing drums at the age of 2. And I took lessons at 4, but I like quit because my mom didn't want to take the passion away from me because he was kind of like really, strict, and I was like, I don't want to play anymore. And truthfully, I just felt like I could teach myself. And then I did. So I would say 20 years now, like as a drummer. But like I've definitely expanded now, like as far as vocals and like keyboards and stuff like that and producing. So as far as that's maybe 3 years. But all around musician, yeah, legit 20.
So me, I want to say I started music around like 3rd, 4th grade. I picked up a trumpet, and I just started to go straight into the brass family, like tuba, baritone, trombone. And as far as percussion, I always had like a drive for that, like congos, timbales, and just other hand instruments. like go-go, I grew up in DC, and my dad was just big on go-go, so I kind of grew on that. But as far as taking what I do seriously, that didn't happen until like college. At first, he kind of made me want to just be better, and then he gave me like my first set of congos, and then from there, it just grew.
So, I didn't know you played brass at all. I never didn't know that. So I was over here making
fun fact,
faces.
How did, I know y'all are performing at Broccoli City. That's really big. How did that happen?
Well, once again, I was in another group back in the day, so I put in a lot of time over the years, ran into a lot of different faces, so I'm, I guess, well known in the area, so like Light Show just happened to be one of those guys I knew from back in the day when I was doing that, and his DJ was actually in the drum line with me and Ralph, and he would like DJ some of our shows. We would do we have a residency at Tacoma where every third Wednesday we'll do a show, and sometimes Wright will come to the show and DJ our shows. And one day, I'll never forget, I could tell something was about to happen, but I didn't know what, and we just really did really good that show. And 2 days later he called me, and it was really crazy. He was like, yeah, Light Show's at the Fillmore in 2 days. We need y'all. So I'm scrambling around getting us together, and so we literally actually only had a day and a half to get ready for that show. And that show sold out the next day, and we killed it, and it's kind of been us and Light Show ever since. And so Broccoli Fest, we kind of was we didn't even expect to do it, to be honest with you. We were looking at the tickets, see Cardi B, Migos, and all these guys, and we're like, yo, I hope we could get on, as us or anything for any reason. And so next thing you know, I don't know, I feel like the world is like in tennis. When you're thinking something, there's somebody somewhere else thinking the same thing. Literally 2 minutes later, his manager texts my phone saying, yeah, you guys want to do Broccoli Fest? Hell yeah, we want to do Broccoli Fest. Shout out to Light Show. Shout out to the whole 86 in America. DJ Wright, we love y'all. So yeah.
So since y'all preparing for the festival that's coming up, what's a typical day of practice?
A typical day of practice is usually at night. We practice from quote-unquote 10 to 12. That's what we usually set up. That's what we say we're going to do. Sometimes it's 10:30 to 12:30. Sometimes it's 11 to 2 o'clock. It's really whatever it needs to get done. But everyone who's usually there is guaranteed. We got the keyboard player. We got the guitar player. We got drummer. We got me. Got sousaphone player. And then from there, I know Ralph gets there most of the time, you know what I'm saying? Because he has his work sometimes now. He gotta go get that money, which is understood. But when he comes, it's usually super exciting. There's this video that we put on the other day that Ralph's jumping, and he's
yeah.
At the same time,
no, practice is not just practice for us. Practice is our outlet, because we have so many different lives sometimes, and our days can be so crazy. So when we all get there, we're actually excited to see each other. Finally, my family, and that's the type of stuff that happens. Ralph will innovate and create, like he said, and just do something else that he never did before. And it's like that with everybody, Not even just the regular, your ordinary band. You're seeing violins and harps and on a regular basis, and you get to be around that, and then it's going to change the world, man. I hope it does, but I think it will, because it's actually a very magical thing. I can't even explain it unless you were there.
It's genuine.
It's actually, Milton had an idea to actually make our practices live,
you should.
So you guys could actually have the experience that we had. So yeah, we may do that. We may actually do that. Also, the purpose of Kontrolled Khaos was to cultivate everyone in their songwriting and their composing, their producing, or whatever it may be. It's a lot of us that do a lot of things.
What advice would you give to people that's younger than you, that wants to be in the music industry or band industry?
Practice.
And I would say just work harder than you did the day before. Always strive to
Definitely.
beat yourself, beat the self that you were yesterday, and keep researching whatever you do, whether you play violin, even harmonica.
Stay current.
Yeah.
Stay current, and definitely listen to people that came before you, as Foot said, because you can learn a lot. You can learn what to do, what not to do, what works, what doesn't work. And if you don't shed any blood, sweat, and definitely tears for what you do, you don't love it. Because I had all three.
Okay, so where can people keep up with you guys? And what's next for you guys, too?
What's next?
Mm-hmm.
Great question. We have a project entitled Let Love that is coming out very soon. My guy.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm psyched, man. It's a great project. It tells a basic story, but it's deeper than what
You want me to break it?
Yeah, hey man, go ahead, bro.
Alright, so Let Love, simple but complex. It's just it's like we're just trying to like more so make the metaphor of utilizing love as what everyone's trying to do. Everyone wants to control it. Everyone wants today, like, you know what I'm saying? We need love, but in a sense we're just trying to, like, in the control chaos sense, everywhere, everything, but we have to let it be. That's the only way to really like appreciate it and take forth. So now we're just we're just taking everybody through the journey of that walk sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like the beauty, the addiction, the hardships, the joy, the wild side, all the things.
Yeah, and all to get to the end to just realize none of us know what we're doing. So let love. Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram @_Kontrolled Khaos with 2 Ks. On Twitter, same thing. Snapchat is Coca_3.
Hey, spell Coca.
KOKHA_3 with the number 3. Our YouTube channel is The Kontrolled Khaos, and our email is @thecontrolledchaos@gmail.com.
Thank you all for coming, and this is the end of the interview.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, for sure.